So we are here with Dwight Bull, and I have been looking so forward to this. Dwight, not so much, huh?
No, no, no. I don't want to do this. There's been a real struggle in those some of those younger parts. They haven't showed up this strongly in a long time.
Okay.
So I think it was the same when I was thinking about being an elder.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I fought that for a long time too. But actually, I fasted for a whole week, praying about that. And the want to never did change, but
Okay.
the should and the right thing that got stronger.
That got clear.
That's why we're sitting here today.
That's why we're sitting here today.
Yeah.
Well, Dwight, I am thankful that I just feel honored to be the guy on the other side of the microphone that gets to just, I know you, Dwight. I've known you for a while now, and I love being considered a friend, and I think that so many people could be blessed by your story, and so I'm so thankful that you're willing to share it, whatever parts of the story that you would let us have. So let's jump right in, Dwight. You just tell me about you. Really, we want to know kind of Dwight's upbringing, how you were brought up, and really what you looked like before coming to know Christ. So tell me, and this is some stuff that I haven't heard, so I'm a little excited about, of Dwight BC before Christ, and let's walk just through that, and then we'll kind of talk about conversion and what that looked like. So you were born at a very young age. I always start.
I suppose. I think doing this, what's helped when I start thinking about it, as far as it just telling my story, rather than looking at it as a speech. When I was in high school, I've always hated getting up in front of people, and I think this is part of it was looking like that. So when I was a junior in high school, we had speech class, so I had to be there. So I spent the summer in Spain prior to that year, and so I was going to talk about Spain. So we did that whole thing, a whole semester, half hour. So I got up there and I said, when I think about doing this, I remember something that my grandma taught me. When a task is once begun, never leave it till it's done.
Okay.
Be the labor great or small, do it well or not at all.
Okay.
Then I went and sat down. Mrs. Weinberg cried. They sent me to a counselor to figure out what was wrong with me. So that's my history of how.
So we don't want a
started.
speech.
No,
We just
that's
want.
that's helped.
That's helped. Good.
Yeah.
Good. So we just want to know about Dwight.
Okay.
Tell us where Dwight started.
Well, I always said I was born in the suburbs of a town about 305 people. So suburbs of Bailey,
The sprawling metropolis.
the small metropolis. Yes. So I was the middle one. So I have three boys.
Okay.
So I attended a one-room school. There was four in my class, and my dad and mom went to the same school when they were young.
Oh, okay.
So that was just outside of Bailey, and then eventually I headed up to Grant High School.
Okay. So you, was it obviously Bailey? You were probably on a farm then.
Yes, we had orchards.
Okay.
Yep.
Got you. And were you like a part of that from a very young age?
Well, yes. I mean, after I went to Wheaton College. It's a long story, but eventually.
Well, let's back up.
Yeah.
As a young child, what did life look like for you? Were you a boy on the farm? Parents involved? What did that look like?
Sure. Growing up on the farm, so we picked cherries,
Okay.
picked up apples, and so when school was done, I remember Dad saying, "Well, vacation is over. Now it's time to work." So there was always stuff to do there on the farm.
Sure. So hard work. Dad and mom involved really, and I know we'll talk about some of you got into being a therapist for a while and whatnot. Were dad and mom involved emotionally? What did that look like faith-wise? Were you part of a church? Talk to me about your younger years in terms of your faith exposure.
When I was very young, I would go to church with Mom.
Okay.
She'd haul us boys to church. Dad never did.
And was Dad just too busy, or Dad didn't want anything to do with it?
I just don't think he was at that time. It changed later.
Okay.
But at that time, he didn't go to church.
Gotcha.
But then Aunt Helen
Okay.
shows up, and so I started going to church with her. There was a little Baptist church down the road.
Okay.
So, and that's where I, the first heard, as I remember, what it meant to know Christ.
Got you.
Going with Mom, most of what I remember is being hauled out of church and getting a spanking in the porch.
Misbehaving or what?
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing, but I must have
Just
been
remember
doing
the spankings. You
was
don't
doing
remember what they were for.
something wrong.
Got you.
But then there was this missionary lady, Belle Longstein, I think was her name. And so she was talking to a group of us kids, and she said that if we ask Christ into our lives, that he would forgive our sins and we wouldn't go to hell. So I thought that was a good idea.
It's okay.
So so I went forward, and I got on my knees. I remember praying that, but it must have been meant something, because I remember going home, waking my parents up, and telling them what I had done.
Okay.
So that was, but I'd always had this, I don't know, sort of a longing to be connected.
Yeah.
So even way before that, at night, it was dark, and I'd pray that prayer. Now I lay me down to sleep, and then when I got all done, I would open my eyes and then look up to the ceiling and smile at God.
Oh, goodness.
I just felt more, connected for some
that
reason.
way. So about what age did this happen? 5, 10, 12, 13? What do you
Well,
guess?
yeah, I would have been, I think around, I don't know, 6th grade or something like that.
Oh, okay. So around 6th grade.
But-
so you pray the prayer around 6th
Yeah.
grade, but you're convicted that was the real deal, and that
Yes, but then I kept praying it just in case.
just in case, right? We've had a lot of that.
Yeah. So when I was a junior in high school, I remember coming home from church and getting on my knees and saying, God, I don't know if you're in my life or not, but I guess by the very fact that I keep asking you, I'm calling you a liar. I don't really believe you.
Okay.
The want to was there,
Right.
but I think, I don't know, who knows? But so I just thanked him for forgiving me, and so I just stopped doing that.
You stopped asking.
I didn't need to.
Because okay. So really, you came to faith at a younger age, 6th grade,
Yeah.
but then you weren't. There was some theology that was still a little iffy on that in terms of keeping doing it, etc. And then when you were a junior, that kind of like, okay, no, this is real. God said he'd do it. I'm calling him a liar if he's not.
Because
But
I think there's the want to, that making that choice plus the trust.
Yeah, there's 2 big parts of it, and really that's a huge thing for, even those of us been walking with Jesus for a long time. We still run into those moments of, well, I know God forgives me, and there's no but there, And I think so many times we want to put a but there, and you were doing a but thing until you were a junior, and you're like, okay, no, that's it, it's done. And so I think that's just helpful to hear. I mean, here's Dwight Bull, an elder at the church, right? And his story of conversion was, there was a time period there where there were still some loose ends that were not, tied up in terms of his perception, right? Your perception was might not have stuck or whatever.
Well, I think it takes both of those things.
Yes,
The asking and the trusting.
And so your asking and trusting happened at different times.
Yeah, who
and
knows?
it just stretched out a little bit.
Yeah.
No, praise God for that. So that when you were a junior, was there a person or a sermon or a book or something that influenced that correction? Or
No.
do you just remember?
No, I just remember that.
Maybe,
whatever reason.
Maybe it was the Holy Spirit saying, are you calling me a liar, right?
Yeah,
okay,
maybe.
got you. So you're junior in high school, working on the farm, right? And then you graduate high school. What's God do then?
Okay, at that point, I went to Wheaton College with my best friend, Mark Brink.
Why?
Well, Aunt Helen went there,
Okay.
but it was a Christian college.
Okay.
And that was important, and I wanted to do that. And that just began, you know, I listened to some of those podcasts of yours. That was probably the wrong thing to do.
Wait, the elders ones or my other one?
Well, elder ones.
Oh, okay, got you. Yep.
But when I think about that passion, you know, when I get up in the morning and I couldn't come up with anything. I mean, I have a passion for cookies, but I'm not sure that's what you were talking about. So, but when I look back, even in high school, you know, there was my friend Mark and we had a Youth for Christ club.
Okay.
And I taught Sunday school class even at that point. And then when I got to Wheaton College, there seemed to be that joy. There was that connection between God and people.
Mm.
So when we went to Wheaton, you know, on Sunday afternoons, a bus would come and we'd go down to Skid Row and we'd hang out with homeless and the folks that were alcoholic, developing friendships. And then another year, we went down sharing the gospel in the public housing apartments down there.
Okay, got you.
And so that seemed to be the theme. And then I got involved with Campus Crusade for Christ.
Okay.
And so I went out to California.
Okay.
They had an Institute of Biblical Studies and even there at Wheaton. So we'd go to O'Hare, talking to people. We'd go to different universities.
So really a lot of outreach, evangelism.
So that's where the God and people have always sort of
connecting people to God more on the front end, more so it sounds like, than kind of that maintaining and deepening relationships. It was more that on the front end, would you say? Or was it the whole process of connecting people with God and walking them through to maturity?
Well, that's a good question. I think, you know, I think both of those are involved.
Sure.
I had a Youth for Christ club that I would run as well.
Got you. Okay. And in the Youth for Christ and the Campus Crusade, was that a lot heavier on the apologetics side, do you think? Or was it really still a lot of relational stuff at that time?
Probably relational. But being at Wheaton and taking, Bible classes and so forth. While I was there, it was, there's this, my friend calls it cognitive slippage. It's when there's words that I'm supposed to know.
They don't come out.
They don't come out. So it takes a couple of us to carry on my part of the conversation.
So, Dwight, I'm just thinking about, really, we had Jordan on a little bit ago. I don't know if that episode's up yet, but by the time that people hear this, that one will be up. And we were just talking about youth ministry in general. And I'm just wondering, I mentioned, I don't want to glaze over that, apologetics and relationship. And it wasn't, I think a lot of people have this misconception that with youth, it's like you got to have all these answers for all these philosophical questions and all this apologetics and science and the dinosaurs and all that kind of stuff. But your experience was that the relational piece of that, correct me if I heard you wrong, it was, the relational part of it was very heavy in those ministries, Campus Crusade and Youth for Christ and all of that. Am I getting that right?
At the same time, at Wheaton, there was that academic, the intellectual part of all of that was a big part of that. Mm-hmm. So as a freshman, Francis Schaeffer was there. And did the God who was there didn't understand most of what he had to say, but then he came back as a senior and did another, week of
something. Yeah. How shall we then live, or
something like that? Yeah.
Okay.
So there was that kind of exposure to it as well.
Gotcha.
Because then at that time there were some of the kids. It was that part of their childhood, but when you get to college, you throw all that out.
And start over
and
almost.
You start all over again.
So you did see some place for apologetics in your ministry in Youth for Christ, but it did not trump relationship.
They needed to go together somehow.
They needed to go together
that
somehow.
That needed to be the mix.
But your heart's burden was more for that relational piece.
And I think that's just part of how it was made.
Oh, sure. Your gifting and
So,
all of that, right?
I ended up being a counselor, a therapist. And
Sure.
So that,
That all played into
Yeah.
that relational aspect, and really just to see you in the different areas that you're in, and with working with different people through the Rise, and we're going to talk about that, of course. I'm excited about that, but it just it kind of flows out of you as far as that relational aspect of things, and not getting too caught up in the head, and asking awesome questions that address the heart. So your Campus Crusade for Christ, you did School of Biblical Studies out there in California. And so you kind of back and forth all over the place. When did that kind of counseling and therapy settle in as this is the path I'm going on?
Well,
Or am I jumping a bunch of years?
no, I'm just thinking, but with Crusade, that was in college, that was a big part of it.
Sure.
I remember at one point, all of us, all the staff merged at Berkeley.
Okay.
And so, and students came and spent the whole week there. And Billy Graham was there. And
Oh, wow.
And there was something exciting about
Sure. Kind of a hum.
Christ.
Kind of a
And we were, God was going to change the world, and we were we were on his team.
Right. Okay.
But then when I graduated from college, I went on staff with Campus Crusade for Christ.
Okay.
At the University of Cincinnati.
What was your role?
Well, I was there 2 years. I became the campus leader that second year. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, were you accounting? Were you keeping books? What were you doing for Campus Crusade?
Oh no, I was on staff with students.
Oh, with students, like
So we
direct
were-
student,
we were
direct to
running
student ministry.
Bible studies
Oh, okay.
out there on campus, sharing Christ and,
Got you.
and having Bible, mentoring, helping these
Got
guys
you.
to
Okay.
come to know Christ.
Relational.
Yeah, there we go again.
Relational ministry.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. And so you did that for a few years.
Yep, I did that for 2 years,
Uh,
and then I came home.
don't let me skip Marcia. When does she come in
Well,
the
that's
picture?
when I found this amazing woman,
in Campus Crusade.
Marcia.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's amazing.
No, not in Campus Crusade. That's when I came home.
Oh, you came home and met Marcia.
Yes, I came back to Bailey.
Okay.
Marcia's father was a pastor down there at Grant.
Okay.
And one of the elders, Max, he said, "Leave that woman alone." Well, she had to go back to the mission field.
And you didn't.
No, I didn't pay attention.
You went after her.
So we got married. And 3 years later, we had 10 kids.
3 years later, you had 10 kids. Okay.
So we adopted 3, and then 7 more came along.
7 more came along. Kids don't just come along, Dwight. That's
Well, they came over for dinner.
and they never left.
They just didn't leave.
And so then you made it official with some paperwork.
Yeah. So we had built a pole barn, a 40 by 60 pole barn, and sprayed the walls with polyurethane and made a house. And so that's where we raised the kids.
You raised 10 kids in a house.
Yeah.
3 years into marriage. That sounds like
So I would have been about 25,
25
when we
years
got
old.
married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. So
So that's
28.
another season. It seems like there's these seasons in our lives.
Yes.
And so that was part of that.
And so that became heavy parenting. And so you're back in Bailey. Are you then working on the orchard again? Or?
I'm still working on the farm.
Okay, so you're working on the farm in Bailey. And are you connected with her dad's church because her dad's a pastor? What did faith community look like for you around
so we were
that time?
involved with the Grant Reformed Church.
Okay,
with her
gotcha.
dad's church.
Gotcha.
Involved in there.
Okay.
And when I think back at what impacted my growth as a believer,
Yeah.
of course, going to church has something to do with it, but I think a more important, at least for me,
Yeah.
is the stuff that shows up in our life and how we respond to that.
And you say stuff like struggles and hardships, or
All that's, yeah. I'm ADHD, and so I didn't have a name for it, but
yeah, you did. It's called sit down and shut up. That's what everybody else called it.
that's right. I'm in the 7th grade. Mr. Cunnan is chasing me around the room at the classroom with a pole. And I don't know why he had a pole. Maybe it's in my imagination. But when he finally caught up with me, he put masking tape over my mouth to shut me up. So you were right on target.
That's what everybody else around you called it, was sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
Turns out it was ADD.
Dad was, he was on the school board, so I appealed to him, and he said, "Nah, you deserved it, I'm sure." So that was the end of that discussion.
That was the end of that discussion.
Yeah. But going back to the farm, see, we had about 1,500 acres of apples and cherries that we owned and operated, and then we had a processing plant.
Okay.
So that was all part of this. And so we had frozen apple and cherry products and cider concentrate.
Okay, sure.
And we distributed all the treetop apple products for the Midwest.
Okay.
So we had a fire,
Oh.
and we lost everything.
Oh my goodness.
So all of the kids were, we still had, let me think, I'm just thinking here. Yeah, all the kids had gone at that point, except I think it was Terry.
And this was in the
This is in
70s?
1984.
1980s. Okay.
So again, when I think about the stuff,
That was hugely
and
impactful.
that was his stuff, because I had prayed for all the right stuff, I thought.
Sure. Right.
And so, there was a period I just stopped talking to God.
Oh.
It's like, what's the point?
Oh, so you prayed for all the right stuff, and then were riding along, and then tragedy hit.
Well, of course, God.
You got comfortable.
God puts this stuff in our life, but responding to that and understanding God's heart and strengthening that trust in Him, those are the kinds of things that I've noticed where I've grown the most. I mean, we can read a book, but then it's this stuff that comes up. Not that God causes it,
No.
but
But He uses it.
He uses it as I allow Him, or I've allowed Him to be part of that as I've,
Tell me about this fire then, and how did that
it was an electrical fire.
in your home?
No, this is the processing plant.
The processing plant.
Yeah.
So
so all those people,
you and dad and the brothers, or who's all?
Well, I had one brother was still left at that time.
Okay.
And my dad was there.
And your dad. So
Yeah.
the three of you have this. Your livelihood, everything
Yep.
you're doing is in here, and you have this fire,
And so we start over again.
and so you started over.
Yeah.
And that was now. And you talk about God's, using that, right? How did that show up? Unpack that as far as like you have this fire. Well, doesn't insurance just come and
Yeah.
rebuild it, and you keep going, or
No.
How did this?
It was too big. So Treetop, they backed out. And so that was a big source of that. So I had gone back to grad school prior to this.
Okay.
And so I had my MSW, my Master's in Clinical Social Work.
Mm-hmm.
So so that opened a door. Without that event, I wouldn't be here. I the things that happened at that, as far as being in
You
the
had
Middle
gone-
East for 9 years,
So
none of that would have.
Okay. So you went back to school, got your MSW,
Yeah.
but then you went back to the farm
Well, no, I did that while I was
while you were at the farm.
still working. at
So
the farm,
okay, so
while
you
the
you
kids were
finish
sick.
your MSW, and then
That
have
goes
the
back
fire.
to the people part.
Right, and then you have the fire.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what about the fire? Really, you mentioned that was a kind of influential time.
Yeah.
How did that? How did God use that specifically?
Well, first of all, it changed the whole direction of my life.
Because
I was doing that. That was more a lot of us should, as the responsible thing to help out. But I don't think that's not where my heart was.
and that's not where God called you. Okay.
Well,
gotcha.
and so He steps in, and so I take a whole another direction.
And so your dad and brother rebuild everything.
They tried to, and they stayed in that.
Mm.
But then at that point, I worked down at Pine Rest, inpatient for a while, and then went into private practice.
Got
But
it.
all of that set the opportunity to spend 9 years in the Middle East.
Right. So okay. So that fire kind of allowed you to step out of the family business
Yeah.
and into, so it was kind of, it was an exit ramp for you from the family business. I see. Okay. So I was just trying to
Yeah.
understand. Yeah. So the fire allowed you to have an exit ramp from the family business, and then you headed into, you were doing a little work already with Pine Rest, or you went
No.
right to Pine Rest from that?
That I got hired by them, and I was there for a while.
And you were there
before.
for a while, and then you went into private practice.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're talking about the stuff that gets in our stories that causes us to grow and mature in our
and
faith.
shapes our faith.
Yeah.
Right. What, you talked about you kind of gotten complacent and really not talk to God much, and then you have this fire. Did you instantly like, oh my goodness, I need to hit my knees every day and back in, or did
No.
he slowly draw
No,
you back in?
This is a slow program.
A slow Southern program.
Yeah.
What ways did he draw you back in through that?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure what, because after that, then I got into. I'm just thinking,
You're fine.
because I got into counseling as well.
Okay.
So when we talk about this stuff, when I was 9, 10 years old, I was sexually abused by a older cousin,
Okay.
and nobody was talking about it in those days.
Oh,
so
okay,
that
sure,
had
sure.
gone underground.
Got you.
And so it was decades later.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was around that time that I got back into therapy, started working through some of that stuff.
I see.
Of course, other stuff surfaces, and Marcia and I got into marital work as well.
Of course, right.
But without that, we probably wouldn't have stayed married.
Sure.
Whether that's the right response or not, but that's, as I look back, I think about that.
Sure.
So when I think, using this stuff in our lives, when you become a Christian, the Holy Spirit indwells us. Our union with Christ allows us to be crucified with Christ. And in Corinthians, it talks about being, when we become a Christian, we become a new creature and old stuff passed away.
Right.
But, after I became a Christian, some of that old stuff didn't go away.
Sure.
So I'm coming back to looking at those things that helped me grow in my Christian life. And so, that temptation was still there. That struggle with the old,
Oh, sure. Right.
with the old sinful nature was still there. So, and maybe this is part of that, the therapy part of me trying to work through all of this stuff and the
Right.
abuse. But if we're brought up in a dysfunctional family and we learn not to talk
Right.
and not to trust
Don't
and not
talk,
to
don't
feel,
trust, don't feel. Right.
to make life safe, that doesn't go away just
And-
because we're born again.
And it does not do well in marriage.
And it doesn't do well in marriage.
Right.
Also, when there's trauma and there's emotional pain in our journey as we come to know Christ, that doesn't go all the way just because we've been
Pray
born
to prayer.
again either.
Right.
But my expectation was different. I had picked up the impression that if I prayed enough, I went to church and I read my Bible and I trusted God, that was supposed to make that all go away, and it didn't. And so that connection between the psychological and emotional part in my own spiritual growth, I just got stuck.
Yeah, Dwight,
For a while.
I think that cannot be understated, because I really think I'm going to guess there's a lot of people out there listening that wrestle with that on a regular basis of I've been crucified in Christ, and it's no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And if any was in Christ, he's a new creation. The old is gone. Behold, the new has come. And so you look at these scriptures, but then you say, wait a minute. All my brokenness from the past, all my hurt, all my pain, all my suffering, it's still here. And so I think it's just really good for us to hear, I'm not the only one if I'm feeling some of that.
Yeah.
Because here's Dwight, you've been walking with Jesus for, 65, 70 years, right?
Yeah, I was 79
Right.
on Monday.
So happy birthday. So I mean, here's Dwight who's been walking with Jesus for all this time and still has remnants of this struggle, this wrestling of, who I am in Christ and that old being gone and the flesh and the spirit and all of this. So really it's just good to be able to, I guess it makes it less. It makes it less lonely when I'm struggling through that. It's like I'm not the only one. And so I don't want to belabor a point, but at the same time, I don't want to glaze over quickly.
But it's knowing what to
reality.
do with this stuff that's still there that was supposed to not be there anymore.
So how did God
And
begin to
so-
work that with you as far as healing from past
Of
trauma
course,
and all that?
it's a process, of course. But, I've always said, if you got a broken arm, it's still broken the next day, even though I'm born again now.
Right.
And so it's processing that and understanding that, there's a place for physical healing and there's a place for emotional, psychological healing that there's more of us to bring to God and inviting him into that healing that's not, there wasn't there before.
And you're 79 years old and still going through that process.
Well, until we're dead.
Right.
Right.
But we just talked about some, the podcast and having some,
Sure,
some
yeah, exactly.
apprehension about the podcast and what, still here you are 79. So the good news is that if you're struggling through these things, you're not alone. The bad news is it's probably going to last until.
Yeah. But I think I was bringing spiritual answers to psychological questions, and that sort of got me stuck. But in all of this messiness, it draws us. It's a choice. We can run away, or we can get on our knees and crawl into God's presence as well for that healing and understanding his heart again.
Yes.
We just got done with James, and James, dear brothers and sisters, consider it all joy.
Just stop. Just stop.
When these troubles, right?
Yes, that's what it says, Dwight. Thank you very much for reminding me.
It says that, but I guess we keep coming back as how does God go about working that maturity and depth in our Christian lives? And I see it there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
And how are we going to bring God into it?
And the trials of many kinds, right?
Yeah.
Because stuff doesn't in and of itself draw you closer to God.
It's a choice.
Stuff can draw you closer to God, I think, and there's evidence of that there, right? Of it took some time. God didn't just automatically, here you were, all better after the fire, and you said it was a process, just like that broken arm. It takes time to heal.
And then eventually we end up in the Middle East for 9 years.
So you're doing private practice. And how did that call to the Middle East show up? What did that look like?
We were at a Campus Crusade convention, and they were talking about, the need in the Middle East. And Marcia had been there for 3 years before we met.
Right.
She was in Oman as a missionary, as a nurse.
Okay.
And so her heart had been there.
Right.
And so we had gone with Mark Bennett, and we had spent some time in the Middle East. And while there, we did some traveling. So we ended up going. We closed down my practice, packed everything up.
And the kids were grown and gone.
The kids are out of the home at that point.
Okay.
And so we get off the plane. I didn't know anybody. I couldn't speak the language. I couldn't read. I couldn't drive a car. So all of those things that we counted on for our identity and our meaning, it was all gone.
It's all gone.
So he did it again.
It's just you and Jesus.
Here we are again.
Right.
And trusting him and but it was an amazing time.
So how long did you spend over
9
in
years.
Yemen? 9 years that you spent.
Yeah.
9 years in Yemen. And the 10,000-foot view, what did God accomplish in and through you in Yemen?
Well, first of all, he didn't do what he was supposed to do.
Oh, of course not. What was he supposed to do?
Well, I had this idea. I had all this experience. I'm a therapist, and I had a lot to give him.
That is kind of funny.
Yeah, well, he was laughing too. So again, he strips it all away, and finding our contentment of all of who he is, and not what I'm doing and not what I'm accomplishing from my point of view.
Got you.
So what that question, why, that got really, battled over there. So it's not asking why so much anymore.
Got you.
He called us to be faithful, and he's going to take care of the results, whatever that is.
Sure.
So,
So God accomplished in your heart, if I'm reading between the lines, just more of that trust, more of that submission, really. Yes?
yeah.
Is
right.
that accurate?
Uh-huh.
And that's heavy. Did it take all 9 years, or did you
It
start
didn't.
to?
It didn't finish.
It didn't finish. It's not done yet.
No, it's not, we're here, aren't we?
Right. Sure. Right. But I mean, throughout those 9 years, did you experience that understanding and start to grow in that then, or did you get done and go, "What in the world are we doing here?"
No. It was all part of that.
Got you.
And being faithful to him. Yeah. So it was a precious time.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And you, no doubt, were able to minister God's love to people over there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And God, worked in spite
And God
of
used
your
us.
right. God used you
The way he wanted.
the way He wanted. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are countless things that we will find out someday that were accomplished by you being there, but that you didn't necessarily get to see.
Yeah.
Right. But there are probably lots of things that if you look back and started to count, you could see, where God showed up in little ways here.
Oh,
and there, all over
not
the place.
little ways. He was,
Big ways.
Yeah, it was
Big
there.
ways. Got you. So why'd you come back?
Because of our parents. So when we came back, my father-in-law was in a nursing home, and so we said, no, you should. So we got a place here in Newaygo. My parents, my mom and dad moved in, and Marcia's dad moved in, and so we had a time together.
Okay.
And that was good as well.
Special, kind of caring for them in end of life.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay, so really
They're
caring for them. When you
Yeah.
say your parents brought you home, it was caring for your parents in end of life.
So then within 3 years, they were all gone.
Oh goodness.
So, but that's when we came back. We had been members of, Trinity in the early days.
Trinity Fellowship
Yeah, up in Big Rapids.
up in Big Rapids.
But then we came back. We started going to River Valley here.
What brought you to Trinity Fellowship in Big Rapids?
Oh, Gary.
Gary.
We always loved Gary.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you. I mean, what, like you were just, when you were around, you started looking for a church outside of her parents' church.
Okay, Gary stopped by when I was first starting to practice up there.
Oh, you
And-
practiced up in Big Rapids.
Yes, before
I see.
before going to,
Before going to Yemen. So you
Yeah.
connected in Big Rapids.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and so they were. In fact, Gary and Kathy came over for a couple of weeks while we were in Yemen,
Oh, no kidding.
and
okay.
so we, yeah,
Okay.
special folks.
Okay. So that's how you connected with Trinity. Then when you moved back to Newaygo, you needed somewhere closer to home, so you connected with River Valley.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. So mom and dad and everybody had passed in that 3-year period while you were home. Why didn't you go back to Yemen?
Well, you can't go back and stay alive anymore.
Ah, got you. Okay.
That was a door that was open. That's closed now.
that closed up.
Yeah.
Okay. Got you.
So
No, I get that. And just again, I think why not versus why. Sometimes
Yeah.
one question is
Yeah,
a little funner to
we have
ask.
different seasons in our lives. So
Got you. So you just leaned back into private practice.
Yep. So I started up again.
Mm-hmm.
Saw clients up in Big Rapids and also here.
Okay, got you.
But I've been retired. I say 3 years, but I'm sure it's longer than that.
Sure.
So I don't know how I had time to
Right.
work. Yeah.
So, you're at.
How are we doing? Are we okay?
Oh, we're doing fine. I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving this. How are you doing?
No, I'm okay.
You're okay.
Yeah.
Not as bad as you thought.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh goodness. So you're at River Valley. You're ministering. You're ministering through your private practice. You're ministering through, as just a member at large here at River Valley. And then there was a transition with Trinity Fellowship and Patrick. What was that? 10, 11 years ago. And so you had known about Gary and Trinity, and so when that transition was happening, you were on board with that.
Part of that process.
Part of that process.
Because Mike and I, we were both elders at River Valley.
Okay.
Yeah. Long time ago.
So you're now an elder at Trinity Fellowship, but this has only been in the past, year and a half?
Yeah, about that.
Okay. So why?
Because I was supposed to. We talked about it a little bit.
Yes, we did touch on it, but
I'm not sure I'm doing a lot of stuff differently. I've just got that
official
title
capacity.
and more meetings.
More meetings.
Yeah, I got meetings.
Yeah.
But again, it's being involved with people.
Well, and I think it's important, and people appreciate, and those in Nuevo kind of appreciate having some representation there in Big Rapids.
I'm the only elder down here.
Right.
So,
for right now, but
right.
we're
Wayne Coffin.
Wayne is
trusting God
a
that
candidate.
he can
Yeah.
come on board. So
how does that? I'm ask a little hard question. Ask you to be a little bit vulnerable here, as if I hadn't already. How is that? We got 12 elders in Big Rapids and one down here. How do you feel that? Is there a tension there, do you think?
No, I don't. I don't. I don't feel that at all.
Gotcha.
But I think it's been important, that we have a voice as well.
Right.
Of course, Patrick, having been here 7 years,
That helps.
he's certainly going to be bringing a different perspective as well.
Sure.
But
Sure.
I think that's, we need more folks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Well,
So what are you doing?
I am podcasting, and I am running the soundboard.
You're in control.
That's right. Hey, who's he being interviewed here? So you're an elder at Trinity, but I really want to take a minute to talk about, and this is kind of a little bbit selfishly. I really want to talk a little bit about your work in outreach with the Rise and Reach the Forgotten.
Yeah, that's both of our hearts.
So tell me, just for people who don't know, just kind of started. What's the Rise all about, and what is this Reach the Forgotten thing? Maybe start at Reach the Forgotten and your involvement there, and then how that came into Rise.
So we've been involved in the Reach Forgotten Ministries. So on Wednesdays afternoons, I'm up there 2 or 3 hours.
Where are you?
In White Cloud Jail.
In the White Cloud Jail.
And
okay.
so Chuck Johnson and I go from cell to cell, and there's a hole in the door that allows us, where the food goes in, and so we get on our knees. I just had my total knee replacement, so I got a stool now, and talk to the guys and develop relationships.
Sure.
And so, I said, Chaplain Bull's here. Anybody want to pray or talk? You need glasses? I got some calendars. And those that are interested get involved in Bible studies, and we talk, and probably at some point, in all of those conversations, comes the question of, if you were to stand before God tonight, and he says, why should I let you into my heaven? What would you tell him?
Right.
And then from there,
You build on the gospel.
we talk about the gospel.
Got you.
But people are, first of all, they're always there.
Right, it's captive audience.
It's
Pun intended.
Right. But there's a rawness about it, and it's like you can see God doing stuff. It's alive,
Messing
and
in their
that's
hearts.
and that's exciting.
So you did that for how long?
I don't know, maybe 3 years.
3 years. Did you do this before the Rise? For Reach the Forgotten you were in Reach the Forgotten before the Rise started.
I think that was before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you're ministering in the jails, and
So we're doing that. Then on Wednesday nights we have church.
mm-hmm.
So we go back and there's like different groups. So we have maybe 2 or 3 different groups. So guys will come in, and then we have a half hour.
Just preaching, worship, Bible study. What does it look like?
Well, right now we're going through the 10 steps.
Okay.
Through this life recovery.
Or the 12 steps.
12 steps.
Yes. Yep.
And then connecting that with God,
Okay.
Jesus,
Sure.
and the devotional.
I got you. Okay. So kind of addiction focused for now, but
Yeah.
it goes and does its own thing, almost like a like a regular sermon series.
On Wednesday, one of the guys said what we were talking about was a bunch of BS. But so
but there's an authenticity.
There's an authenticity.
They're not afraid to say this sounds like BS.
Right. And a few weeks ago, we were talking about that. In our testimony, there's the before and the after, and there's the middle part of coming to make that choice.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of the discussion was started by this guy. Said, I don't want to give it up. I'm not ready. I know I'm supposed to.
Oh.
And the other guys started nodding their
I
heads.
guess where I'm at too.
And so that's, a lot of times I have to be careful, but it just seems like Jesus is the answer to everything. Somebody told this story about,
oh my goodness.
There's a Sunday school teacher, and she was talking to the kids. I think I told you this, or you told me.
I think I might have told you this.
You might have told me that. Yeah, that's right. You were the one. So what is the story?
So the Sunday school teacher got sick of the kids always saying the answer was Jesus, and so she said, okay, all right, class, I'm thinking of something that's got a long bushy tail and hangs out in the trees and eats nuts and stores nuts for the winter. It's kind of cute, brown or black or gray, and so what is it? And nobody was saying anything. So finally she picks on little Susie, who always has the answer. And little Susie says, well, I know the answer is supposed to be Jesus, but it sounds a lot like a squirrel to me. And but it's that concept
Jesus isn't the answer with this crew.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
On Wednesday this week, I went up to one of the doors, and this guy came up. I'd never met him. And he says, I want to receive Christ. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how. Mm. 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 And so there's just that joy of, it's God doing His thing. We just sort of show up.
Right.
We can't talk anybody into anything, or we can't.
And you can't talk them out of it really either.
But we just have to show up.
Just have to show up. And so, but that, standing in an orange suit talking through a food tray door hatch, there's an authenticity, and people just don't have they don't have a capacity for, as much as I hate to say, BS.
Yeah. One of the best parts of Easter, a few weeks ago, I was talking to this man who's sentenced for 60 years. 60 years. And he came, and there was just this anticipation in his voice, and he says, if Judas had asked Jesus to forgive him, would he? Mm. And when I said yes, he just broke up in tears because, if Jesus could forgive Judas,
then surely He can forgive me.
but be in relationship with people with, you know, where their heart is there. That's exciting.
It is.
And then on Tuesdays,
so then
we have Rise.
We have the Rise, and so
that's
that came out of that ministry,
Correct,
right? Because
yeah.
what was happening?
Yeah.
Guys would get out, and it's
So this is a program on Tuesday nights, and we have actually right now we have a Bible study at 5 that you're leading, and then we have a meal at 6, and then it's a support group based on Christ, but helping these guys get out of jail who are transitioning back into the community, and having a place where they have support, where they can, struggle in their Christian lives, and again, it's alive.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. What do you think makes the Rise grow like it has, effective like it has? I mean, I'd say sometimes I'd rather be at Tuesday night Rise than Sunday morning church.
And it's more than just a meeting, because they're involved in each other's lives.
Yes.
You're involved in their lives through the week.
Sure.
And that's what we're hoping to happen,
Right.
within the church.
What do you?
They can be honest. They can be almost open. There's a connection, because everybody's been in jail, and so they get it. And when you got people around you who get it, there's a freedom to be open in it. And again, we're bringing God into those situations.
It's almost like the mask comes off when they walk in the door to Rise, because they know nobody's got a mask. They see what's behind everybody's mask.
They're not going to be able to do that in a church.
I think in some situations, I think you're right. I think the church could grow to function like that.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. In a lot of ways, it doesn't necessarily. And so Tuesday nights of just this vulnerable and all that vulnerability. So Rise is really a big part of what you do, and this Reach the Forgotten is a big part of what you do in terms of outreach. And we've seen guys come from Rise to worship at Trinity on Sunday mornings.
They're part of our crew,
Matter
too.
of fact, one just professed Christ, and so it's really, I think, telling when I've talked to the elders, just to see them not just in some ivory tower making decisions, but it's just refreshing to see that you're carrying out the gospel call in your life outside of the church walls. And I think really that's the way God intended it. And really, I think you're equipping others too. There are times where I come in or I see other people kind of sitting with you. Hey, I'm wrestling with this. I'm struggling with this. And you're equipping them to go carry that out. I think it's refreshing. It's refreshing to know, these kinds of things. So Dwight, I've been asking the guys, a couple of questions at the end of these podcasts, and one of them is, what are you excited about for Trinity Fellowship? What's on the horizon, or ministries that you're involved in? What's on the horizon that just kind of gets you excited and gets you up in the morning?
It has to do for me for that outreach part of it. I was always, what I was attracted to Trinity at the beginning was its focus on the important stuff, and not getting bogged down with some of the things that they've been, part of my experience in the past.
Sure.
But of course, we all love Patrick, and
Sure.
we'd do anything he'd do. We'd follow him.
We'd follow him, right?
But there's these young men that are coming onto the elder board, as there's new life and energy in that, and and again, it's making it practical,
Mm.
the focus.
Yeah.
And it's not just sitting around and holding hands and talking about spiritual truths.
Right.
But it's, but what are you doing with what you're learning, and how are things changing, and how is that going into the community?
Sure. So you're excited to kind
Yeah.
of see that focus of
Right.
just not, like we said, in that room.
Yeah.
Dwight, what?
Of course, there's my passion for cookies in the midst of all that. But there is a passion there. God and people.
Right. So now the next question, a little harder and might take a little thought. Take your time. What's a burden? What are you concerned about? What are you not so sure about that you're having to trust God for? What yellow or red flags are you seeing here, Trinity wise, that
You always have to be careful not to be arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
I think with that early experience with Campus Crusade and the focus on sharing Christ, because we all do it in different ways.
Right.
You know, we can do it financially, we can do it in prayer, and somehow, our own unique personalities filter what it looks like.
Right.
But if somehow we're not bringing Christ into our conversations during the week, if that gets lost, then we're missing something.
Right.
And it has to do with that gospel fluency.
The gospel life roots in our homes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What we've been talking about.
And so you sense that.
But if we
need
don't
for
bring that
message.
outside,
Right.
so that it's part of our, it's just normal to be sharing and not to be bragging about it, but it's sharing with each other what that looks like, and learning from each other, and that practice, and that becomes a filter as we start today.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And I know that that's a concern as well. But when we put the pie chart together, and where's the budget money being spent, it doesn't have a big piece sometimes.
Got you. Okay. So, kind of that burden for the lost, the burden to take Christ outside of the four walls.
And
I think that's good, and it is encouraging. How does it sit with you, this concept that Patrick's put together of this, this gospel life roots in our homes, and then the world around us, or in our small groups in church, and then in the world around us, that kind of outpouring. How does that sit?
No, but I think
with
that fits well with him, and that's important to him.
Yeah.
And they're exploring out how to make that, be more intentional about that,
And so,
as they move forward.
do you see that kind of addressing that?
Yeah,
That
it's not being ignored.
good.
But it needs, just from my perspective,
It needs to
be
leaned
filtered through
into.
our personalities and our different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good that you're in the spot you're in, because you're, as an elder, as a member of leadership, there's some influence there. But also, I love to hear that you're not just saying it needs to be done. You're out there doing it. You're out there talking through the hatch on your stool. You're out there on Tuesday night slogging through the muck with some of these guys. And at the same time on Sunday morning, you're reaching out with a prayer and an encouragement to the people around you. And so I think that's so good.
But it's always a challenge. Apparently, you never get to a point where there's not that tension.
Oh, of course not.
So I got my glasses on Wednesday morning, and so I'm sitting here in front of this lady I've never met, Julie, And I'm thinking, well, I don't think she might be interested.
Right.
I mean, she wasn't smiling at me at first. So, but then reaching that point where I say, Julie, I want to share something with you that somebody gave to me. And it's the God Puzzle. And it's this website. And I've been passing it out, everybody who will talk to me. And at different times in our lives, we revisit that question of who God is.
Right.
So would you be interested? Yeah, she says.
Yeah, she says.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that. But again, there was that tension there. And,
I would say if I were to sum up, it'd be, Dwight, that you have a heart for relational evangelism. Relational evangelism. How does that sit with you?
I had to know her name first.
Oh,
I wouldn't do that with somebody I don't know their name.
well, but you get like I'm just looking over your story, and it's this this therapy, this spending time with people, this getting to know Christ, this allowing God to work in you over time, and that healing process. All of that speaks of relationship. But then your burden for the lost that don't know Christ, your burden for the community to hear from God and to be with God. I think it just kind of sums up in relationship.
And so we bring our brokenness.
We bring our brokenness
into His presence.
And then
And somehow it's good enough.
It's good enough. It's good enough.
Even with the cognitive slippage.
Even with the cognitive slippage. Well, with that, Dwight, I am honored to have been a part of this conversation. I am thankful to hear from you. And I just know that this conversation is going to bless somebody out there to know that this is who Dwight is and this is who's in leadership at church. And that's kind of the whole point of this podcast is, who are these elders? Who are these staff people? We're going to get into staff now. We got 2 more elders to record with. And who are these people, at this other campus or, that I'm new to the campus or whatever. And I really think your willingness to share your story and your heart is just, it's worth it to me. And so I'm gonna say I know it's worth it to somebody else too. So thank you for the struggle. Thank you for enduring the struggle.
And you've been very kind to me.
Well, thank you. And we will look forward to seeing you Sunday or Tuesday night, as it were.
There you go.
Hopefully we don't see you on Wednesday night, because that would mean we were on the other side of a door that we probably don't want to be on the other side of. So thank you, Dwight, very much.
Thank you.